Okay. Okay, I'm back with the Colorado River rock. And I'm making a big zigzag. You see that a bunch on old stuff? Because it's an effective way to address issues. It sets it up to do a series of removing big stuff. Okay, I'm going to try. I've got a platform kind of near the center line. It is cortexy, but still, I'm going to try and do some good with this particular hit. So I'm holding it really, a lot of pressure straight in on the back edge and not too much pressure down on the leather, and trying to drive straight in so again I don't get the tendency for it to sink. Actually, I guess I don't get the tendency for it to do anything. Kind of hate this kind of rock. Make you look ignorant every time. Crapola. Can you see what it's doing? It's just chunking out on me. Again, the issue here is there are incipient fractures. Incipient means they started and they ain't finished yet, but they're planning on it. All over this thing. Every one of those little dings created little force cones, little tiny fractures. And it just makes the energy die because the platform blows up. And abrading doesn't solve the problem. So sometimes you'll hit it and it won't have all that and it'll work okay, and other times it just blows up, it just dies. And they say, well, why am I still hitting it? Well, there's decent material in the middle. It probably, I probably can get an okay point out of this. And if you'll notice, river cobbles, man, they got some color and stuff. It's been penetrated by minerals and stuff, iron and other things over the years, and it might make an 8 point. I just have to get past this part of the problem. It's worth your while to jack with river cobbles. I just went down straight on that because I'm getting tired of fooling this crap. I'm trying to decide. I would like to, I could hit pretty hard on that end of that, but I've got this ridge set up and I don't really want to waste that, but then I've got a better platform here. It becomes a judgment call which thing to hit in which order to try and right down there when I just took off my ridge, see, for that platform. That's the judgment call aspect of it. There's concavities here. This doesn't look like it's gonna work, so I'm gonna go straight down and then hit downward and hope for the best. And it barely worked, but I don't know if you really saw how big that concavity was, but that was a big concavity, so for it to do anything and go all the way across was pretty good. And that's the only way I know how to deal with that. That was a good blender that lowered this whole thing some, so you know, we're achieving something. I've got a square edge here, and this is turned the wrong way because I've got a bunch of thickness here. So we'll just keep working to it. I'd love to just hit really hard on this, but it won't work because it'll break. I guess I'll try it, but it won't work. I hit high enough and hard enough that it did do some good. Look how pretty that is. It's worth your while to mess with this stuff. If you can just get it skinned and get it cooked a little, for those of you that cook stuff. Turkey roaster would be fine for this rock. This is not a particularly hard rock. Sticking that in the back of my hand, holding it here, and I'm just putting this ridge on the leather. There's no point in putting any of the rest of it on the leather, so I just tilt it to the side a little bit and holding on that ridge, holding it up a little bit over here, and down a little bit over there. And the main thing is the back edge support. Because, for me, the main thing is the back edge support in this case, because I got my angles figured out. So I can hit it at the right angle to drive that flake without really using the leather. The leather just keeps it from hinging down when you hit at the wrong angle, when you hit high and translating it. Little bit salty here. I'm looking for platforms to hit really into thickness, but everything's too low or too high. The reason I spend time looking for them is I don't want to create them if they're already there. Because every time you make a platform, you lose width or thickness wherever it is. There's no real ridge here. I'm going across a ridge and I'm going to hit inward. Just trying to do a little bit of good. That one's too low. It'll just be real thin. But it blended. This one's in a pretty good location, although it's not a great shape platform. And there is some breakage, incipient breakage right there, so I don't know what's going to happen, but held together, sort of. I'm still trying to figure out how to, I need to zigzag around to this because I don't really want to, this is right on my end, so I don't want to lose too much right there to get rid of that square edge. So I'm going to work around to it. People have asked me before, how do I know when I want to freehand something versus working on my leg? I don't know the answer to that. It kind of straight in and it rolled up there, but I don't care. I want flattening. I need thinning. Just trying to get this crap turned a little. I need it off. Hold it underneath it. There's a ridge there, but it'll feather that. When you hold underneath it, it just makes it wrap and blend, but it cracked. I'm about to get it all off. Creating some seriously funky shape in the process. Doesn't really matter. It'd matter if I was trying to make an andice, but I'm not. I held my finger along that ridge kind of to make it run over to there. This is too low to do any good, so I just blend it down. If you hold your finger under those things and hit straight down, it just feathers them. Just feathers them in there, you don't get hinges. And it's better, it's not as steep as if you don't do that, so it's better to do it like this. I got a little ridge there. This is kind of like preparation stuff. These little flakes, all I'm trying to do is get things sort of set up a certain way. Regularizing it a little bit so I can take some, I need to take some heavy shots in at some point here. And the best thing for that, trust me, is indirect percussion. I'm showing direct percussion. See where it hit? See the finger along the ridge and everything? And it almost ran off the other side and blended. Ran all the way down to there. Trying to get things flat and smooth. Yes, I said flat. Pretty much. I don't need or want a bunch of convexity. All I need is a tiny ridge. This is iffy. I'm going to hit it anyway. So I've got a tiny ridge here, but it steps out and there's a little concavity there, but the edge of the platform is a little bit above that, so theoretically if I hit real hard on there, it'll undercut it and run a line straight through underneath that area that's not good. Is this optimal? Not at all. Thanks for noticing. But it worked. See, I ran under that concavity. There's the concavity, I ran under it. So it didn't matter. Alright. Too many of your once you've hit on a rock like this, what you end up with is you end up with a lot of rolled out edges that have concavities from the deltas from the previous flakes, and then you have edge thinness. So if you hit anything like that, it's gonna break every time. It'll break off right there, right there, right there, right there, and it'll be worthless. It's not good for anything. You have to take and abrade downward to raise all that crap up. Get rid of all the little concavities and strongly stiffen the edge. And if necessary, if they're too big to get them where you want them with a abrader, you may have to use a bopper, and I use that little bopper a lot, little solid. The reason I use a solid is simply to keep from wearing it down. But get the things back towards the center line without the concavities beneath them, and where you can get them strong. That's in an okay location, but there's nothing over here for it to run into, so it's gonna probably feather out when it gets to that. But this is real humpy and thick, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit into that with both of those and see how they smoothed into that. I've got a thicker area right there. I never can read the time on this, see how long I've spent. That was my bad. I just didn't hit that well. I don't know exactly what I did. I got distracted while I was swinging somehow. Kind of weird because I don't recall ever having done that before, but not a great platform, but hit hard, it went into the concrete and hinged out. It's okay, I'll get it from the other side. Got that on the edge over there, just a feather. I don't know why I'm showing you this, you got the idea. This thing's under control now. Thickness, weirdness, little platform, just hold along that ridge, hit sideways and catch it with the side. Blended it. I'm just going to do that again. That wasn't even a platform. I was hitting above the edge on that, but whatever. So yeah. So get your biface, and really I should have lost more width by now. Come on in and thicken this up, and cut off part of that concrete hinge. So anyway, that's the concepts. I may stick a couple of pictures of things on the end of this or something, I don't know, but at any rate, bye for now. Freeze crack.